Hello buddies, welcome back to my channel. It is Miss March. Thank you for joining me today. I have a bit of an odd look today. It's more like my hair was sort of out of control, so I decided to do a bit of a mix of a Disney princess meets goth. So hope that you will enjoy it. So for today's video, we are going to be doing something I've actually been wanting to do for a while, which is I wanted to do I'm not gonna call it a deep dive. I'm gonna call it like a decently sized dive into different websites that I usually consult when I'm looking into new products. I've gotten a few questions from some viewers about the websites that I use. And I originally was going to do one big video with all of them, and then I thought, why? So I thought that it would be nice to sort of create a series and just divide them into different videos about different websites or different platforms that I check. Part of this is because it's just going to make my life a little bit easier, but I think also like the videos will be more digestible and we can really go into my thoughts for the different websites and whatever the things that I think are good and what things do I think like they could improve on. So today is our first installment of our series. I haven't thought of a name for the series yet. Hopefully by the time I upload this, I will have one. But you know, we're gonna be going through a few different websites and platforms that I usually check, or that I have checked in the past and maybe I'm not checking anymore. And today we're going to start with a website that I have mentioned before that's called What's in My Jar. I think it's what'sinmyjar.com if I'm not mistaken. So I actually found this website, like I find most websites, at night, very late. And I was looking for something, I guess. I had like run into a new product and I wanted more info, and it was a brand that I didn't know that well, and I kind of googled that product and this page came up, so I started looking into it. So What's in My Jar is a website where you can do a number of things, but the thing I use it the most for is to check ingredients and effectiveness of a product. The website uses artificial intelligence to evaluate products. So they have an ongoing database that, you know, people add things to, and I'll show you how to do that later in the video. But for now, just know that, you know, it is crowdsourced, but it does use artificial intelligence to evaluate the ingredients. So when I read that, one of the things I wanted to know, and this is something that you should always do when you're looking at a new website, is, you know, find out who is behind the website, who is the team working on this. So usually you want to find either the about page. In this case, like you can scroll all the way down and you're going to find the about page, or who, you know, there's something is like who are we or who we are, or something like that. You want to find those pages and take a look. So I was very pleasantly surprised when I actually found the about page for What's in My Jar, and I found that the team is composed of 4 people. 2 of them, one of them is the person who works on the algorithm, then there is someone who works in technology. We also have a science communicator, so that is someone who can, you know, translate complex science to the regular, you know, the regular population. And then they also have a dermatologist who is also a professor at the University of Toronto. So that made me feel better because, you know, we know that all the areas are covered. We have the technology part that's very important, but we also have the skincare knowledge that, you know, is quite vital. And then we also have someone who can help bridge the gap between the scientists and us, the public. So I thought actually it was really good that they had all those people in there, and I was very happy to see that. So yeah, so let's start and take a look at how this website works. It's actually, as I said, it uses artificial intelligence. If you go on their page, they actually, another thing that I really liked was that they explain their methodology. So they explain how they come up with the judgments for, they rate products in both effectiveness and irritancy. Oh, that's a hard word for me to say. So how irritant our product is, and then how effective that product is. I'm going to explain more as we go on and show you how to use the website, but that is how I do it. And I was very happy to see that methodology listed again on the website, so you can understand what you're looking at and how ingredients are being evaluated. So let's say you are looking at a website and you find a product you're interested in. So what you would do is you come to what's in my jar, and then on the main page on the search bar, you would just enter the name of that product that you would like to get more information on. For example, I recently purchased this vitamin C eye cream from La Roche-Posay. So I would just look for it, and then I just click on the name if it shows up. And I will get a page for that product. In here, I get their overall assessment, which says that is 95% effective, or that it has an effectiveness rating of 95, and that it has a low level of irritancy. Then if I keep scrolling down, I get a little summary of what it can work for and whether there are any promises that the product makes that they can deliver. In my case here, all promises are fulfilled. And then if we scroll down a little bit more, you get this tabbed portion, and depending on how many claims your product makes, the number of tabs you're going to see. But it takes each of the claims that the product makes, and then it evaluates them according to the ingredients. So what you're going to see, for example, for anti-aging, is it lists here like the promise that it makes, and then it would list the ingredients, and it would show us on the first column is the effectiveness. So how well has this ingredient been proven to work for that specific claim. So in our case, for example, the vitamin C, which is the ascorbic acid, has been proven to be very effective. And then the second column looks at the concentration within the product, because even though a product may be effective, if it's not in the right concentration, it's not going to be good for you, or it's not going to do the things it needs to do. So what it does is it looks at where the product is listed on the ingredients list, because as we've discussed before, those are the ingredient list ingredients in order of concentration. So it looks at where it is located on that ingredient list, and then deducts whether the concentration would be high enough to do what it needs to do, and then the irritancy level as well. You can also see it here for the moisturizing aspect. It does the same thing. And then for the anti-oxidation, again, that's the same thing. And then it will give you like this overall, like whether it can get the job done or not, if the ingredients are good, or sometimes it will say that the ingredients are good, but in not good concentration. You also get a list of the potential irritants. So in our case, vitamin C, potassium hydroxide, madecassoside, and disodium ETA or EDTA, who knows? And then you also get a list of all the ingredients by volume, which is how, these lists are put together, the ingredients list. And then it will tell you what each ingredient is, and a lot of times what is it for. So for example, here for glycerin, it tells us that it's one of the best moisturizing ingredients, naturally present in skin. It attracts water to the upper layer of the skin, working as a humectant. And then if you continue to scroll down, you will get a few similar products if you wanted to get other ideas. This can be really nice if you're looking for maybe a cheaper option or a more effective option, anything like that. And then at the end, you have your scientific sources, which are really useful if you're interested in knowing how they come up with this information on how, what evidence are they looking at when they program this specific tool. So I've shown you how to look for a product. I have to say that even though I'm very happy with the reports that you get, there are a few things that I found that could make this better or that could be problematic. The first issue that I found was that it doesn't include any information about packaging, and I don't think it takes packaging into consideration when making these evaluations, which could be a problem because we do know that there are certain ingredients that need to be packaged in a specific way in order to continue to be effective. So vitamin C is an example, ceramides is another one. So that's why we tend to see those kinds of products usually like in pump form, because they do tend to be more effective because they're more stable that way, because they haven't had exposure to the air. So because of that, I think that it would be really important to take that into account and to consider that, or even if it was just a line saying like, hey, this ingredient should be packaged in the specific way. Because yes, you could have the best of ingredients and you could have the best of concentrations, but if the moment you open the product will no longer be stable, then what's the point on doing that? The other issue that I found is that where you get your information from when a new product is put into the database, which is something that anyone can do, and we'll look into how to do that. So depending on what website you use to source that, then you might get different results. So I've seen listings or more than one listing for the same product, but they had different effectiveness rates or different irritancy. That's a hard word for me. Irritancy rates, because they were coming from different places. I tend to use the Sephora one. I feel like it's very complete. You can always use the one that the original company is putting out, but really you want a very complete information, and what you want is to be able to capture the claims that the product is making and also all the ingredients in the appropriate order, which would be the volume by volume. So those are two kind of things that I think could be improved with this product. We looked at how to find a product when it's a known item, when it's something that you know that you're looking for. But there are also ways in which you can A, discover new products, and then B, compare products. So we're gonna go and take a look at that now. You can also use this the search box at on the main page to look for a product, even though you don't know what the name of the product is. So to discover new products. So for example, I could do vitamin C eye cream and see what I can find, and it will give me a list of the different products that they have that have vitamin C and are eye creams. There are a few ways to kind of limit it here on the right hand side, and whenever you have a search results on the page, you will find that there are a few filters. So you can create your own avoid list, and that means that you could create a list of ingredients that you would like to avoid. So if you have really sensitive skin, for example, maybe you wouldn't want retinol or something like that. So you can create your own. You can look at it from the marketing claims. You can also look for categories. For me, like I was looking for eye creams, for example. If there are any specific brands that you're interested in, or if there are any interesting ingredients you would like to make sure that your product has. So it really allows you to do that. And then you can also compare some of the products. So you could search for, let's say we did our pure vitamin C. And then we're gonna look for another one, which is the Nivea Q10 vitamin C eye cream, which we have here. And now I can compare both products, so I can see them, you know, their effectiveness, whether they have things for anti-aging, anti-oxidation, whether one is whether they're most moisturizing or not. In our case, it would seem that La Roche-Posay seems to be a better product. Whether they have potential irritants or not, price, and then all the ingredients. So if I'm in between two products, it's very nice to be able to compare them that way. So far we have looked at features of the website that don't require an account. Let me show you a few more that you can do without having to create an account or to put your email address or your own information. And then we'll take a look at the ones that do require you to put some information in there. There are a few other things you can do on the website without having an account. You can take a look at the skincare feed. These are member posts. Right now, the majority of the posts are written by Maria, who is one of the founding members of What's in My Jar. There are a few posts by other members. One thing to keep in mind is that these posts are not written by dermatologists or estheticians or cosmetologists. So take them with a grain of salt. Along the same lines, we have the skincare routines, which, you know, if you have an account, you can enter your skincare routine. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. But yes, these are people's skincare routine. They're not necessarily vetted by a professional, so just keep that in mind, but you can see what other people are doing. They also have some guides for common skin concerns like dry skin and acne and blemishes and things like that. So you can take a look, and they can give you a little bit of an idea of what to do, what to look for in your skincare products and things like that. I really like the ingredients dictionary. You can actually look for ingredients if you're curious about them, if you want to know more about them. For example, I looked for vitamin C here. If I click on it, it will give me information on vitamin C in skincare. What does it do? What does it doesn't do? What can it help you with? And then you will see a list of products that have those, have that ingredient. And then you can, again, sort of use the menu on the right to limit what you need, to limit it to what you need. So I actually really like this feature, especially if you're trying to get more into an ingredient and you would like to find products with that ingredient. Okay, so now that we have looked at everything that you can do without creating an account, let's talk about creating an account and whether you should do it or not. So whenever I look at a website and a website that asks you to put your information on, you know, my little spidey sense goes like, eh. And I get questions like, you know, how is my data going to be used, and why do they need my information, and what are they planning to do with it? I know if you remember back in the day when there was like that saying, like, if you don't know what the product is, you are the product, which is a little bit dramatic, but also a little bit true. So whenever we have these amazing websites that allow us to share information, I always have to wonder, what's the goal? What are they trying to do? So I did look into this for this website, and they do have a section for retailers and a section for brands. But when you look at what services they provide, they tend to be more the creation of artificial intelligence or AI bots or AI systems to provide recommendations and things like that. So I don't think that they're like nefariously selling your information to them. And then also sometimes you kind of like decide whether it's worth it for you or not. So for example, I know that I have to create an account, and that is just putting your email address and a password. So you can create a dummy email address to add a new product. And then in return, you get that product report. So that is a trade-off that I am comfortable with. I'm not giving them too much. I'm doing a little bit of my work in inputting that product in there, but then I get the reward of getting that product analysis done for me. So that is something that I am comfortable with. So let's take a look at how to add a new product. Now, let's say that you are looking for a product and you just can't find it on What's in My Jar. You can always add your own products, and this is how the database gets populated. It's crowdsourced. So what you're going to do is you're going to find a good web page for that product. So in my case, I found this Fenty Skin Flash Snap Instant Revival Eye Gel Cream. I like the Sephora ones. I find that they're pretty accurate because they have a lot of the information that What's in My Jar needs to make an assessment. So what you're going to do is, you can't probably see it, but what I'm doing is just copying the URL, and then we come to What's in My Jar, we go to Add Product, and then you just put the URL, so the web address for that product. I'm going to click on Add. It will ask you to verify the information, which I semi-do. Taking a little bit longer, it's okay. So it's going to ask you to verify that information very soon. See, we have here, you know, what it does, making sure that all the data is okay. So these are the claims. These over here would be the ingredient, brand, actual name of the product. Looks good. So now it tells me that they have added the product, and then I can click on show added product, and it's going to give me the rating. So it's not that good, I guess. That would be on a hustle of a step. So we have 47 over 100 in effectiveness. It's pretty has a lot of rotation. We have established that we are okay, or I'm okay at least, you know, with creating an account to be able to add a new product. That's a trade-off I'm comfortable with. But what about the other things that you can do that require your information. For this one, I think it's a personal choice. One thing that was comforting for me as I was looking and as I was using some of the services and sort of testing them out is that the company is based in London, and they are following the European Union's data policies, which is amazing because they are a lot more stringent than what we have here in North America. So in the EU, they can't just do whatever they want with your data, and there are very, very strong laws that guide companies on how they can use and not use their data, and how they can extract or work with it, and whether they have to ask for permission or not. So just to give you an example, when I was trying one of the bots, I actually got, I'm going to try to put it here, but I got this message where they were kind of like making sure that I was okay with the way they were using my data. So that kind of left me feeling a lot better, because I trust the EU's data policies a lot more than I do North America. So I thought that was great. But yeah, there are others. We're going to take a look now at a few others that, you can, other features of the website that will require more data, and whether you want to input it or not, that's really up to you. I don't think there's anything dangerous, but it's always good policy to kind of think about, like, okay, what are they trying to do with this data, and what am I getting out of it? So let's take a look at some of the other features that you could use that do require a little bit more information on your part. Another one of the features that requires an account is they create a routine where you can enter your routine. We saw that we could look at other people's routines, so you can create a routine and then share it if you want to. So I'm going to show you mine. This is one, it's not entirely accurate, but I created like a dummy one just to show you. So you just enter what you use when you use it. Let's go back really quickly, because if I went to edit it, go to action, click on next. I can edit it and I can add new products, and when you add a new product, it will ask you, so you enter the product and then whether you use it in the morning and evening, just in the morning, just in the evening, how often do you use the product, etc. I'm just gonna discard this. We're gonna go back. So I'm gonna show you mine and what it does. So you have your routine, and as I said, this is not necessarily what I use, although a lot of it is, but I just created it this way just so that we would have enough stuff in there. And then you get your overall score. It has the estimated cost, which can look like a very big number. However, it does last a couple of months, so it's not like you're spending that every month. And then it tells you, how many products. So I think the 5 and 5 is like morning and night. And then how many beneficial ingredients you're using, how many irritating actives, and then they have what they call no value irritants, which are things that, as the name says, irritate you, but also add no value. And that could be like fragrance, for example, which is something I have complained about some of my products. And then if you scroll down, you have all your beneficial ingredients. If you choose the concern, let's say anti-aging, I have all the different ingredients that I'm using for anti-aging. And then it tells me which product has them, what the product does, or what the ingredient does for you. You also have your irritating actives, and these are things that could be irritating, but that they do have a benefit, and it could be things like retinol or vitamin C. So again, if we look at the anti-aging here, I have, as I said, we have our vitamin C, the ascorbic acid. We have retinol, which we know can irritate your skin, but also can do really good things for your skin. So those are the, hey, this can be irritating, but if your skin can tolerate it, that might be a good choice for you. And then the no value irritants, which are things like scents or fragrance. I know when I mentioned this in another video that I don't love how the Fenty moisturizer has a scent, and I know this one is limonen, so we could do without that one. But that is something interesting if you want to take a look at that and like really evaluate your skincare routine. I mentioned the bots before, and the bots are this sort of like chat services where you can get some recommendations. So this particular website has one for sensitive skin and one for sunscreen. I tested the one for sensitive skin just to give you an idea of what it would be like. And I think also this is what they're working the most. When you look at like the resources for retailers or resources for the resources for brands, this is usually what they market, is this like, you know, bots that will allow the website to make recommendations to someone. A lot of brands are using them right now. I know that Amica on their website, they have something like that. They're pretty popular. Apparently they do really well. And you can see they have a lot of stats if you look at the resources for retailers or brands. So that seems to be what they are offering the brands, not their information. And I think part of what they're doing is that they're kind of using us to source a lot of that information, right? To source the products and to kind of test all those different bots and all those different algorithms that they're working on. And again, I'm okay with that. I can live with that. But yeah, so you can test the bots. The one for sensitive skin will ask you to create a skin routine. And then, or a skin routine, that's what I call it. Anyway, to create like your skincare routine. And then they will ask you to kind of answer some questions, and then they will either tell you, whether your products are good for you or not. So I'm going to try to put a screenshot of when I did it, where it told me like some products were okay, some products weren't. Obviously my skin can tolerate them because I'm doing okay, but it will tell you those kinds of things. And then, it will provide some recommendations. I didn't find them, at least the skincare, the sensitive skin one, I didn't find it great. However, it did give me a good tip, which I'm gonna try to put in here right now. We talked about washing your face and how if you have sensitive skin, you should not be washing your face in the morning because your face is not dirty unless like you're very sweaty, which I think a lot of people think that they have to do. So it was interesting. So it provides some tips, and then at all times it will provide you, ask you if you want more information on something. So I thought that was really good. I think where it wasn't great for me was the suggesting products and things like that, and then capturing nuances in what is sensitive skin or not. But again, this is artificial intelligence, which means that the more it works, the more it learns. So who knows where it can be in a couple of months. That just sounded very ominous, and yes, it's not gonna take over. And yeah, so that's about the bots. So final thoughts on this website. I think I like it. I'm going to continue to use it. I really like that I can get like those quick, reports. I like that it offers a lot of different ways to look at your skincare. I do think, as I mentioned, that there are a few things that they could fix, which are the packaging stuff, the sourcing. Another thing I feel like they could improve upon is the way you can sort your searches. So the filters are pretty good. You can filter by marketing claim, you can filter by category, brand, types of ingredients. You can also enable your avoid list, but when it comes to sorting your results, you can do relevance or price ascending. So from cheapest to most expensive. And I don't know if I saw this in a dream or something, but I thought back at maybe a month ago, you could actually do it by you could sort by efficacy or effectiveness, or you could also sort by urgency level. And I think that could be really useful. I could have sworn you could do it, but I'm not saying it right now. But it would be nice to have that, so I could choose, like eye creams. I could look for eye creams and then look for the least irritant ones. Or I could look for, a moisturizer and look for the most effective one. So I think that is something that they could have in there. And that would be an easy fix because there are numbers already. So it would just need to be sorted. I really like that they are very honest with like their methodology, that they, whenever you look at analysis, like a report for a product, it will contain references to where they're getting the information and how are they making those judgments. So I find that to be really, really interesting because we don't see that as much. So I like that we are able to see that, and we're kind of bridging that gap between skincare and science, and a lot of people maybe discover that let's read this article and things like that. So I thought that was really exciting as well. So overall, I will give it a thumbs up. I like it. I think it's a good website. I think that I'm okay with the data privacy and how they're using the data. I feel comfortable with it. At the end of the day, that is a choice that we all have to make for ourselves. But with what's asking of me, I'm okay. It's not asking for my real name. It can, and there are more ways in which you can put your information. But for me, just sharing my skincare routine if I want to, or just entering products, that's okay with me if I can get that information that I need for myself. So I do recommend it. It's not perfect. There are a few things that they could improve on, but other than that, I do recommend go check it out. I hope you have enjoyed this video and you enjoy this genre or this series when I look at other websites where I get information from. If you have any questions, please put them on the description below and I'll be happy to answer them. One thing I didn't mention at the beginning, but I guess I should mention is this is related to what I do in my everyday life. So I feel comfortable answering those questions. What other websites would you like me to look into? I have 1, 2, 3, I think, that I'm planning on doing. But if you have others, or if you have thought, if you have one that you would like me to look into, I'm always happy to do so. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. We want to see you here. I want to keep creating content, and it's always helpful to know that I have people who want to hear that content. And I will see you very soon in another video. Bye.